You see, we had just put a down payment on our dream house, a beautiful 4-bedroom colonial with a sprawling backyard. It was all my money, my inheritance, my savings, every bonus I'd ever earned. She had contributed nothing financially, but her name was on all the preliminary paperwork alongside mine. Her plan, I realized, was to secure her future, our future, on my dime, while enjoying herself on the side. She saw me not as a partner, but as a provider, a safety net. And that, more than the cheating itself, was what fueled my resolve. My revenge wasn't going to be loud or dramatic. It was going to be precise. It was going to be legal. It was going to hit her where she thought she was most secure, her future. I started documenting everything. I saved screenshots of the messages, noted the times she came home late. Even got a photo of her car parked outside his apartment complex one evening when she was supposedly at a yoga retreat. It felt grimy, like I was becoming someone I didn't recognize, but I knew it was necessary. The first step was to secure my finances. I met with a lawyer who specialized in asset protection. He was a sharp, no-nonsense guy who laid out the plan perfectly. We would use the prenup, which Clara had happily signed, thinking it was just a formality, as our foundation. She had barely glanced at the clauses about infidelity and asset forfeiture. She was too busy planning the wedding colors to read the fine print. Big mistake. Next, I needed to play the long game. It became the perfect fiancé. He suggested we open a joint savings account for wedding expenses. I deposited a generous amount to get it started. She was thrilled, seeing it as more proof of my devotion, of our shared future. She started adding small amounts herself, feeling like a real contributor. What she didn't know was that this account was the bait. A month before the wedding, everything was in place. The venue was booked, the caterers paid, and deposits were down on everything from the flowers to the band. Most of these were non-refundable and paid from that joint account. Clara was on cloud 9, floating through her final dress fittings and bridal showers, completely unaware of the storm that was about to break. The week of the wedding, I suggested we have a small, intimate dinner with just our parents to celebrate. A final family meal before we become one, I said, laying it on thick. She loved the idea. At the restaurant, I was the picture of a happy groom-to-be, toasting to our future, to our wonderful families. My parents knew a little of what was going on, but not the full extent. My parents were beaming, telling me how lucky their daughter was to have found a man like me. The irony was so thick you could cut it with a steak knife. After the main course, I stood up, clinking my glass for a toast. "I have something I want to share," I began, my voice steady. Everyone smiled, expecting a heartfelt speech. Clara looked at me, her eyes shining with adoration. It almost made me feel a flicker of pity. I've learned a lot about love and commitment over the past 5 years with Clara, I said, looking directly at her. I learned that trust is the foundation of everything. And I also learned what happens when that foundation is destroyed. The mood shifted instantly. Smiles faltered. Clara's face went from adoration to confusion. Her parents looked puzzled. "You see," I continued, pulling a small, discreetly placed folder from my jacket. "I also learned that Clara has been sharing her love and commitment with someone else. A man named Mark." A gasp went through the table. Clara's face drained of all color. She looked like she'd been struck by lightning. I calmly opened the folder and slid a series of printed-out text messages across the table toward her parents. Explicit messages. Plans for secret meetups. Messages from the night before, where she told him she could unwait for this stupid wedding to be over so they could be together for real. Her father picked up a page, his hands trembling with rage as he read. Her mother just stared, tears welling in her eyes. Clara started to sputter. This is fake. You're crazy, am I?" I asked calmly. "Then maybe you can explain the photos of your car parked outside Mark's apartment building on the nights you were working late." I slid those across the table, too. The silence was deafening. "The wedding," I announced to the room, "is off. The deposits, as you know, are non-refundable. They were paid from our joint account, which, as per the prenuptial agreement you signed. Clara, you forfeit any claim to in the case of infidelity. So thank you for helping pay for your own going-away party." Her jaw dropped. She finally understood. The house, the money, the life she had so carefully curated for herself, it was all gone. As for the house, I continued, turning to her. "Oh, But the final paperwork will be signed tomorrow. Only one name on the deed. Mine. My lawyer will be in touch with you about collecting your personal belongings from my apartment. You have 24 hours. That was when the dam broke. She started screaming, calling me every name under the sun. Her parents were trying to calm her down, but they were looking at her with a mixture of shame and disgust. I just stood there, feeling nothing but a profound sense of release. The weakness she saw in me was just patience. The love she took for granted was my cover. I paid the bill, wished her parents the best of luck, and walked out of that restaurant without looking back. The next day, I signed the papers for my house. My house. The first night I spent there, surrounded by boxes, I felt a peace I hadn't felt in months. It wasn't about revenge in the end. It was about reclaiming my life, my dignity, and my future. She thought she was playing me, but she was only playing herself. She built her entire world on a foundation of lies, and I just had to be the one to kick out the support beam. Some might call it cruel, but I call it justice. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever been in a situation where you felt powerless, remember that your greatest strength is your own resolve. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content. See you next time.